Happy Friday, everyone. I just saw the D&D movie and it was fantastic. As a D&D player, I felt it was everything I wanted to see visualized from the table to the big screen. I could go on and on about the movie, but we have other gaming news to cover and this isn't the entertainment fix, though I am hosting that one today too. I'm Stella Chung, and in today's fix, Diablo 4 just released a whole infographic on death tolls in its beta weekend. Final Fantasy 16 just wrapped development and went gold, and Vampire Survivors is getting a new expansion. If you played Diablo 4's beta over the past weekend, then you may have been curious about some post-beta stats. Blizzard came out on their Twitter account to show a nice compact graphic to show how many times players died, which classes were the most played, and more. The most popular classes during both the open and closed beta were the Sorcerer and Necromancer. This is kind of impressive considering the Necromancer was only available during the open beta. The total amount of time played in the beta was over 61 million hours. The total number of player deaths was pretty close behind at 16.9 million, and 10.2 million of those deaths were from the world boss Ashava. I fought against that boss and that poison kick cloud really did me in. We got so close, but unfortunately we just didn't have the max 12 people in the instance to kill Ashava. So close. But the good news is other players beat Ashava, totaling that boss's death to 107,426 times. So I feel pretty vindicated here. Now the grand total of monsters killed in the world of Diablo was just above 29 billion times. So I'd say we did a pretty good job of helping clean up the world of Diablo from nasty demons. And the good news is 2.6 million of us earned our Beta Wolfpack cosmetics for launch. Now we just have to wait till June to play. Final Fantasy fans can breathe a sigh of relief because development on Final Fantasy 16 is finished way ahead of its launch date for June 22nd. In a Twitter post, Square Enix announced that they wrapped development and that Final Fantasy 16 has gone gold. This may not seem like big news, but there was a literal decade between the announcement of Final Fantasy 15 and its release, so it's a sigh of relief that's not the case this time around. Final Fantasy 16 had been announced back in September 2020 as the next mainline game in the RPG series. To give some background info on the game, 16 will be taking place in the world Philistia, where the land was once abundant with aether that gave most people the ability to conjure magic. The Mother Crystals, as the aether is called, is the main source of magic in the world. A few people were born without the need to have aether to cast magics and can use magic at will. In this magic-filled world, there are powerful and deadly creatures called Icon, which can be contained within a person. Those with the Icon power are called Dominants, and there's one per each nation in this world. As things usually go, these people are either used as weapons or treated like royalty. The main character, Clive Rossfield, is set to protect his younger brother Joshua, who is a Dominant. We really don't have much more information than that right now, but the world is set in an interesting European-inspired knights and castles setting, which definitely fuels my love for gritty medieval fantasy settings. Vampire Survivors is an incredibly addicting game that does a fantastic job of perfecting its game loop without the formula getting old. But just in case you were wanting some change-ups with Vampire Survivors, it's getting a second expansion on April 13th. Xbox Wire reveals that this expansion is called Tides of the Foscari, and it takes players to Western Europe in the Great Forest. The developer Ponkel said they were influenced by local fairy tales and folklore. In the center of this great forest is Foscari Academy, a school that trains the next generation of warriors, scholars, and leaders. It's divided into 3 houses: the Azure Tower for training sorcerers and warlocks, the Crimson Anvil for strength, engineering, and blacksmithing, and the Amber Sickle for focusing on training in accounting, agriculture, and archery. A weird mix, I know, but it'll be interesting to see how this lore ties into the game. The expansion will feature 8 new characters, most likely from the Academy, with 13 new weapons, 1 new stage, 7 music tracks, and 20 new achievements. Best of all, this new expansion will only cost you $1.99. Vampire Survivors was such a surprisingly good game when it first launched, and it's only gotten better. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. The BAFTA Game Awards took place yesterday, and Vampire Survivors won Best Game and Game Design, beating out God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring. It's so interesting to know that the developer Ponkel started making Vampire Survivors when he was unemployed and used his past knowledge from being a developer in the gambling industry to incorporate flashy designs into the game, specifically the animations that burst out when you open a chest. Congratulations to Vampire Survivors, and I can't wait to play this DLC soon. Will you be playing Final Fantasy or Diablo when it launches? Or both? Let us know. Now that you're all caught up on gaming news, check out our Top 10 E3 Conferences of All Time feature, where we cover the best E3 conferences as we mourn the loss of this year's event. I know, I'm sad too. Keep up with us by following us on all your socials, subscribe to The Daily Fix on Snapchat and YouTube. Remember to keep on gaming, and we'll see you next time.